above is to Andrew, and I want to find out from him which is worse, following the Constitution as Mark did to the letter, or ignoring the Integrity Commission law as you, Andrew, have continued to do. Which is worse? Because I hear you asking or saying it is a matter of trust. How can you distrust a man who follows the Constitution, but you don't totally distrust a man who can't complete his obligations by honoring the Integrity Commission law? I don't understand how the labor rights are reasoning. How you trust that man? And Andrew wants the Jamaican people to say trust him, and his minion Daryl Vaz is saying it's a moral issue and you can trust Mark. And then he goes further to say that he got the information from the innards of the PNP. Can you trust that? Is that a statement you could trust? I wonder who.
Welcome viewers and subscribers to JLP Entertainment. Thank you for being here. All new viewers, click the subscribe button. Well guys, in this one guys, we have KD Knight, adjust the Prime Minister. We have Peter Bunting also adjusting the Prime Minister. So guess what's going on guys? Without no further addition, I'm asking you please to stick a like on this video. Please to subscribe to my channel if you're new here so I can continue bringing you this type of content. Thank you for being here. Without no further addition people, let's jump in the video so you guys can understand what's going on in Jamaica. Right there, sir.
This afternoon in St. Mary that a number of residents are drinking water that is unsafe for consumption. The matter was discussed during a recent meeting of the St. Mary Municipal Corporation. Amoy Harriet reports.
There are roughly 44 water supply systems being manned by the St. Mary Municipal Corporation. Hundreds of residents in the parish heavily depend on this water, including for drinking. But shocking data from the parish's health inspector revealed the water is unsafe. Rupert Stevens is St. Mary's chief health inspector.
For the month of April, a total of 15 drinking water supplies were collected, water samples, were collected and submitted to the National Public Health Lab for analyses. 6 samples were deemed bacteriologically safe, while 9 were deemed bacteriologically unsafe. And Mr. Chairman, at this juncture, based on the samples that were collected and analyzed from the St. Mary Municipal Corporation supplies, I must say that the department is quite displeased with the results.
He listed the main systems of concern.
And the supplies were Barneswood, Hunstone, Rose Spring, Matop Spring, Toplinster, North Over, and Lydna. A couple of years ago, we crafted a comprehensive plan for the minor water supplies, and we would have met in this room, and we looked at the plan, and there was lengthy discussions and deliberations, and I think we agreed that we would have placed focus on the water supplies. So I think we need to go back to that.
The corporation says it will be meeting in the coming days to discuss maintenance and...
This is the administration that has been the most committed to the concept of data privacy. We've done a lot of work in promulgating the Data Protection Act, and that was coming out of listening to the people of Jamaica who had legitimate concerns about the privacy of their data. And just last week in the Senate, I would have spoken to the Data Protection Act and our commitment to implementing it on June 1 in a phased manner. So I think it is very clear in terms of our actions and also in terms of our utterances, that strong, deep commitment to data privacy. And I think in the matter that you have raised, he was very clear in his, very publicly clear, at least on social media, that the information that he received came from a member of the opposition party. He said that very clearly. We have not seen a breach of data in this instant. I believe what he may have been saying when he said that nothing is secret is that when you are a public official, there are always people who know things about you, and there are always people who, for whatever reason, may pass information on you. And I think that's what he means, because there is no way that he would be saying that, you know, it's okay to breach privacy, because he is the minister that had oversight for the Data Protection Act before it came to the office of the Prime Minister. So he's very seized of the rules, and I'd have no doubt that he would not have tried in any way to breach the data privacy rules, because he has been such a critical part of promulgating those rules. And so it's important that when we have these kinds of discussions, that we don't kind of build on that low trust environment situation that we have. The reality is a lot of money has been spent on data protection and data privacy. And when we start on June 1, I made it very clear there is no exemption for government entities. There is absolutely none. The administration has been clear that all government entities have to comply with the Data Protection Act. And that says how important data privacy is for.
Above is to Andrew, and I want to find out from him which is worse, following the Constitution as Mark did to the letter, or ignoring the Integrity Commission law as you, Andrew, have continued to do. Which is worse? Because I hear you asking or saying it is a matter of trust. How can you distrust a man who follows the Constitution, but you don't totally distrust a man who can complete his obligations by honoring the Integrity Commission law? I don't understand how the laborites are reasoning. How you trust that man? And Andrew wants the Jamaican people to say trust him, and his minion Daryl Vaz is saying it's a moral issue and you can trust Mark. And then he goes further to say that he got the information from the innards of the PNP. Can you trust that? Is that a statement you could trust? I wonder who in the innards of the PNP would be exposed to those documents that Mark has. But it can't be true. Let me tell you why. Mark made an application for a passport. When you fill out the application form, how much form do you fill out? Not one. Not one. You get back in the duplicate. You don't get back in the duplicate. And why, if he didn't have documentary evidence, then tell me, why would Mark make such a detailed account of his getting the visa, etc., when him apply and how old him was and all them kind Why would he make such a detailed record of that? So what is it that you got, Brother Vaz?
National Reform Committee CRC says a Jamaican who is a Commonwealth citizen does not disqualify him or her from becoming a member of Parliament. On Tuesday, the government tabled the CRC recommendations to update the Constitution. In it, it read a Jamaican citizenship should be the essential qualifying citizenship criteria for membership in the Parliament. When asked to clarify, constitutional attorney and member of the CRC, Lloyd Barnett, explained.
It's not merely possessing dual citizenship that is the relevant criterion, but whether there is conflicting allegiance. Because we took the view that if a person is representing Jamaicans in our parliament, then that person cannot owe a duty to another state, which may sometimes come into conflict with Jamaica's interests.
Currently, for a Commonwealth citizen to be a member of Parliament, they'd have to be living in Jamaica for at least 12 months before a general election or nomination. Among the Commonwealth countries is the United Kingdom, which opposition leader Mark Golding is a national. Notably, a significant part of the reform is for Jamaica to sever ties with the British monarch. Is this in part then a conflict of interest? Well, the CRC report states that countries that have left the British monarch have chosen to establish or maintain ties of friendship with the UK. It said the Commonwealth have evolved outside of the monarchy. When asked if the government would ever consider changing it for political leaders, Chairperson of the CRC, Marlene Malahoo Fort, responded.
There's really no place for conflicting allegiance serving in the Parliament. Before you can reach the role of leader of the opposition or Prime Minister, you first have to be elected a member of Parliament. And that is why we also dealt with it at that foundation level.
Darrell Vaz has been criticized for allegedly leaking the private information of Mark Golding when he revealed information on his travel history. Mr. Vaz later revealed that he received the information from a member of the opposition.
There is no way that he would be saying that, it's okay to breach privacy, because he is the minister that had oversight for the Data Protection Act before it came to the office of the Prime Minister. So he's very seized of the rules, and I have no doubt that he would not have tried in any way to breach the data privacy rules.
One by one, the CRC members who were at post-cabinet press briefing Wednesday expressed their disappointment at the division on the issues, staunchly distancing themselves from the politics. Notably absent were the members appointed by the opposition. Minister Malahoo Fort says following Cabinet's approval of the report, it will begin the process of drafting the bill. That could take some time, during which she's hoping that an agreement could be reached with the opposition.
Unfortunately, I think that the High Command's actions appear to the public to be a sort of union busting. It appears petty, vindictive, and intolerant. It will have a chilling effect on the future leaders of the Federation. I didn't have to be a prophet to predict that the presentation from the chairman earlier would be one of a much more conciliatory tone than we're accustomed to. This is a watershed police federation conference. The delegates will decide the type of leadership they want for the next year. I hope they elect the leaders that the rank and file members deserve. You will decide whether it will be a timid, favor-currying, yes-men type of leadership, or will it be courageous, strident advocates for your members? Every organization needs checks and balances on central power.
Point of order. Point of order.
I
Chairman,
don't oppose point of order, but
Mr. Bunting.
What is the point of order?
Senator
that
Bunting.
You are interrupting my presentation.
Point of order.
When you are making your presentation, you decide how you make it. I am invited to speak. I will decide how I make my presentation.
Point of order. Point of order. Senator Bunting, this is our parliament. When a point of order is raised, the person who is on their feet stops speaking and allow the point of order to be raised. Chairman, I wish to raise a point of order.
Go ahead with your point of order, sir.
The point of order is that the matter, Mr. Senator Bunting is an invited guest to these conferences. Senator Bunting has to make his presentation within the rules of the Constabulary Force Act, which prohibits causing disaffection among members. The presentation, Mr. Chairman,
Conference.
Mr. Chairman,
Conference.
Mr. Chairman, Madam
Yes.
Chairman, Madam Chairman.
Yes, sir.
You're
acknowledged.
The issue that the senator is the subject of the senator's presentation is a matter that is under investigation and for a tribunal.
Correct.
For the senator to be speaking about it and making utterances that predict the outcome and to make remarks about the intentions of the High Command is inappropriate. And I'm asking you, Chairman, to ask the invited guest to make his presentation in a way that does not disrupt the order of the conference and the administrative duties of the High Command.
Senator Bunting, the Detective Inspector Patriero. So his point of order is that I should ask you to present your greetings, your remarks in a way that is not disaffectionate to the conference.
Point of order.
I expected no different
Senator,
from
a moment, please.
Inspector Patriero.
Senator, a moment, please. A moment, please. A moment. Point of order for the chairman.
Yes, madam.
In light of the senator's constitutional right to freedom of expression, what you have done, it's unfortunate that it has come from my learned friend, Inspector Patriero. I find it to be muzzling of our guests. And I am saying that that is not a point of order on which you should rule on.
Whilst I'm in agreement.
If I may, I'm not through, you can rule on mine. It cannot be that we invite guests into our space and then muzzle them. So please consider, because I do not see any comment that was likely to bring about disaffection of this conference. As a matter of fact, what has happened a while ago with my learned friend's submission is more likely to bring the conference into dissension.
I'm going to allow this senator to continue with his speech.
Although I've been severely constrained by the time allocated, I cannot end without touching on a few points of concern to the rank and file which have been brought to my attention. And I want to start with two that I just heard raised this morning. One person raised the idea of a monument for the fallen, and this is a sort of long-standing thing. And I recall there's a Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, two adjoining walls of black granite with the names of the fallen inscribed into the wall. It receives millions of visitors every year. I think, Permanent Secretary, that might be a good model to study. Where it would be located, you know, anywhere from somewhere down in the Heroes Park area to a permanent police institution. The issue of jail space. The opposition's policy is that highly trained police officers are used inefficiently as lockup guards. We believe there should be a remand center in each police area, which would be operated by the Department of Correctional Services. A remand center like what Horizon, which is in Kingston, and would be used to house remandees. That would release hundreds of police officers onto the streets to improve the operational capability of the force. Other issues, may I just borrow a bottle of water? Thank you. Other issues which have come to my attention. Other issues which have come to my attention is the non-payment of temporary allowances to senior members who are unable to be converted above the 4th scale as part of the compensation review. I'm told this is a pressing issue that requires attention, along with all the other anomalies that are still unresolved. I'm told, Commissioner, that there's a shortage of accoutrements for rank and file members. The trust bus is still thriving. The unavailability of uniform, boots, and other accoutrements compel officers to acquire these at their own expense so that they can turn out in a professional and dignified manner. Commissioner, I'm hoping, since I know the force development and logistics portfolio is close to your heart, that these issues will not persist into another year. Lack of efficient service vehicles. This is another serious concern. I can speak firsthand of visiting stations in South Manchester, Alligator Pond and Asia stations, for example, which have a single unreliable old vehicle to cover vast areas. In the case of Alligator Pond Police Station, literally stretching from St. Elizabeth back to Clarendon. These are also prisoner stations. When there are no working vehicles there, it exposes the officers to liability. Vehicles are a force multiplier. The lack of